Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Kalimdor Cup. Today I'm going to explain the techniques I used to hit gold on my first runs through these races. Hopefully they haven't changed the courses too much. So let's head down to the 1000 needles thread and begin with the normal course. The trick to this race is to keep moving as quickly as you can and not hit any of the obstacles. Also, there are a lot of very sharp turns, so you should be mindful of where you're spending your vigor. If you find yourself running into obstacles, then slow it down a bit. In this run, I was actually spending vigor far too close to where those boosts were and wasting a lot of my vigor. But it works out alright because that means I'm not ever going too fast at any point. You can either follow my lead if you like, or try to make a faster time. This is not really a strict race as far as time goes. It's mostly just about being able to make those turns and not overshoot. Another important thing to note is that this is one of the longer races in the Kalimdor Cup, which means that if you're having to do it over and over again, trying to hit gold, you might accidentally strain your wrist or your shoulder if you don't have the proper posture. So make sure that if anything starts hurting, you adjust your posture or take a break. So let's move on to the advanced course. This one took me a lot of work to get the timing right. So don't strain yourself, take breaks, check your posture, do not mess up your wrists like I did the first time I started racing. This is both an endurance sort of race and sort of a puzzle race, by which I mean there are many wrong ways to do this, but only a few right ways. So pay attention to where I'm spending vigor. This is the method I found that loses me the least amount of speed on these turns. Some fine mouse control may also be required. You may want to crank up your mouse sensitivity so that you can reduce the fatigue on your wrists and fingers. These whirlwinds do appear to be race hazards, but I've never had one actually slow me down or affect me in any way, so I think they're just ambiance. Here's the tricky bit coming up. Other than spending vigor in the right place, the only real secret to this race is to keep going just as fast as you possibly can. They give you vigor in spades, you're not going to run out, so use every bit of it. Now this I could have taken a little wider if I wanted to catch some of that vigor, but I don't think they matter because I still have more vigor than I can use here. So now the reverse course. I make this one look easy, but don't fall for it. This one took me at least half an hour. And that's not including breaks. As with the advanced course, the trick to this one is more about figuring out where to spend vigor so that you're not losing speed as you round these sharp turns. This is the method that I found to be the most efficient, excluding that bit where I waste some vigor on a whirling surge. What that surge did accomplish was helping me find the rhythm that I needed to complete the second half. You can feel free to experiment with it or leave it out if that's more effective for you. Past the cosmetic water spouts, watch this turn. This is probably the easiest place to mess up. There's a few things that are just right in your way. The placement of these vigor charges is sometimes a clue that you're going to need to take a turn wider. You're never going to be lacking for vigor here unless you run into something though. So feel free to go just as fast as you can manage. Hold off here for a moment. And again, take this one slow. And there you go. So happy racing everyone, and don't forget to spend your badges before the vendors disappear.